Hey guys, welcome to this Blitz101 tutorial. This is o7o7. Today we're going to be talking about side scraping and angling. So these are tactics primarily for heavy tanks, and they're extremely important to employ if you want to succeed in those heavy tanks. There's a simple concept that if you try to penetrate something when it's flat, it's much easier to penetrate than it is if it's angled. This concept applies absolutely into Blitz. So let me show you how. So in these two tanks here, for example, the enemy is coming from that direction. Let's discuss the left tank here. The front of the tank is flat to the enemy. So take this red shell. This is coming in from the enemy. This thing coming down, wow, look at that. The entire point of that shell is able to penetrate this flat surface with no problem. So now let's look at the guy on the right. This same shell coming in, if it's coming in here on this left side of the tank, look at that. So if it gets down there, only about 50% of the point of that shell is able to penetrate the tank, which means you're going to have a reasonably high chance of ricocheting. And ricocheting is where instead of actually penetrating into the tank, the force pushes it off to the left like this. So the ricochet comes off to the left. And that's considered a ricochet there. Now let's take that same exact shell on the right side of this tank. And that shell is coming in, and let's just say it gets down here, bing, look at that. I'd say maybe a third, if that, is penetrating the side of the tank on that shot. So that means you've got an even higher chance of ricocheting because you've got 60% of the shell that's not even going into the tank. And your ricochet is going to look like this, right? It's going to come out that way. This concept's really key because it means if you're angling your tank, you have a much higher chance of not taking damage than if you're not angling your tank as such on the left. Okay, so the first tactic I want to talk to you about is side scraping. It's very important in almost every heavy, and it's critical in the Tiger 2. The gist of side scraping is essentially pulling into some kind of cover and then backing up to take your shot at an angle that helps to get them to bounce off your tank. If you watch in the video here what I'm doing side scraping now. I'm pulling backwards. Look, he bounces, pow, I hit, he's out of the game. So I set up the scenario in Middleburg. In rolls the red tank, and in rolls our green tank. So you're face to face. This is a bad scenario because basically you guys are just going to pound each other until somebody loses, and whoever does win is going to come out extremely damaged. So this is just head to head, just is not a good idea. So let's do the minimum what you should be doing, which would be kind of angling at the tank, trying to get a little bit of advantage there. The problem is they can still hit you really easily. Obviously you can still hit them, but they're nailing you. Again, just a bad situation. So that's why side scraping is so important, because if you're side scraping, what you're doing is you're not trading shots with them, you're hitting them and they're not hitting you, and that's a win situation. So let's look what that looks like. Side scraping means you've come into the corner of this building here, and you've done your angle where you're at a good angle to them so that they're going to have a high chance of bouncing off of your tank. So if they're shooting at you, it ricochets. The problem with side scraping, and this is where I want to warn you, is if you're down past the corner of the building, you're actually leaving a very big spot of your tank open for them to hit. And let me show you what that looks like here in this little overlay. This red area here means that your point is out, perfect and very easy spot for them to pen. You can't be showing your point like that. You need to be showing like this here, where you've got no, on the right side, where you've got no point hanging out there. And they really have nothing to hit except the side of your tank, and that's when you get the bounces. So back to the diagram here. If you're doing it right, you're up about there, right? And when you're there and they're shooting at you, pow, it's bouncing. They can't hit you. And the beauty is you're hitting them back. So they're bouncing their shots, you're making your shots. This is a great scenario. And you're doing your side scraping correctly. Now when you are side scraping, one last thing I want to mention is you're going in and out like this, right? If you're trying to get your shot, you're coming back, you're getting just to where your gun and your view's around so that you can make your shot, right? And then you're running back into the building. So you're kind of going like in this motion. What you don't want to do, and a lot of people do that I see when I'm playing, is they're kind of angling like this, right? They're kind of going back and forth like that. That doesn't work, because again, if you're angling this way, you're showing your front there again. They can pen that. And if you're angling this way, you're ruining that obtuse angle, and they're going to actually be able to pen you from there. So again, the correct motion is like this, in and out, they shooting and bouncing, you shooting and hitting. And that is side scraping. So I want to show you just a couple more quick shots here before we get into angling. So here I am side scraping, I'm setting it up. You can see kind of back up, look around, peek. That guy gets out of cover. That's not really what I'm looking at. I'm trying to show you the exact angles in the game. So look at my tank icon. See how I'm at a nice corner there? Look at that. That's the right angle there. I'm showing a little bit too much of my front here, but I'm just trying to show you the angles. And then look at the clean, just straight shot down there. They would not hit me in this spot. So that would be a perfect side scrape. Now, going on, I want to talk about angling, because sometimes when there's multiple tanks on a corner, you can't side scrape because you'll get in the way. So here's angling around the corner. So I'm coming around. Right now I'm completely flat to them. Anybody could pen me there, but look at the angle of my tank and the icon there in the middle. So I'm kind of angled there, even though I know the pattern's running away and shooting. But I want to show you this really cool. So up here on the left, there's an E100. He's side scraping. Look, can't even see him. Bow! He nails me. There was zero chance I could ever hit that guy, even if I knew he was there not side scraping. Okay, and so in this clip, I want to show you a little bit more angling as well. So look at, it's crowded here. There's 4 tanks. We're kind of negotiating the corner against each other here. I'm trying to keep a 45 in my front because I'm right in the front, and I've got to be because you're in a Tiger too. But I'm shooting as I can, just peeking enough to be able to see everybody. My front's out at a 45, so it's not side scraping, right? But it's angling where if they do shoot me, they got to get me good. So we're firing here. We're also negotiating shots. Now, the most important thing I want to show you here is look at my platoon mate right there. He's side scraping behind me, using me as his cover. That's perfect. The person in the front, if I was trying to side scrape, I would ruin everything. So what I'm doing is timing shots with him. He shoots and pops. He pops back. I shoot, pop back. We're just trading shots here. That guy comes in there and makes a great shot as well. I take a nice shot here, backing up, and then my side scraping platoon mate right there is there to take the kill. Boom, it's over. So now, you know, this T20 is like, or IS is like, oh my gosh, these guys know how to side scrape, and he's running for his life. That's what you want. You want to run it like that. Okay, in this last clip, I'm making a flag assault. I'm coming in straight right now, so pow, I get nailed by that Indian, but the Hellcat on the right, I'm in a nice 45 too. So looking at him, he shoots, bounces just like I expect. Pow, he's out. I'm still straight on the Indian. He nails me. But now I'm coming into the base and I'm angling. This T20 comes out of nowhere. So again, I can't side scrape in this situation, but I can absolutely angle. We start doing shot trading. So I'm hitting him, backing up. I'm trying to track him. I tracked him once. I get him again. And now the T20 is hitting into him. So here I am. I'm reloading. There's that long reload. Oh, and he gets away. Another guy comes in here, another red. But that Indian's a problem. Pow, take him out, pass up on the easy shot. And there you have it. That's pretty successful angling overall. We go ahead and finish that guy off. We're up 4-0 and clean up the rest of the guys. So hopefully now you understand the concept of shell penetration. You know why you should be angling when you're fighting instead of directly facing the opponent. You understand the general concepts of side scraping, and you can practice that to perfection. It's not something that you get overnight. You actually need to practice these skills, and eventually they'll become a valuable new tool in your fight against the enemy. I hope you enjoyed this Blitz 101 session. Look for my other videos online. And as always, see you guys on the battlefield. This is o7o7 signing off.